Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro, and today's new moon and solar eclipse is occurring April 8th, 2024 in the cardinal fire sign of Aries. So let's take a look at what I have written for this particular event. New moon and solar eclipse in Aries, Monday, April 8th, emphasizes the importance of embracing your uniqueness, sharing your talents, pursuing your passion, and creating a life that brings joy to you. As the moon joins the sun, the North Node, Chiron, and Mercury retrograde in Aries. Excuse me. Aries is a cardinal, initiating boss-like fire sign ruled by Mars, the planet of action, and is associated with the first house of self in the zodiac wheel. No matter what house, area of life you find Aries or Mars in your natal chart, the issue of how you relate to others is relevant and offers you the opportunity to heal unhealthy patterns of relating or to burn some karmic ribbons due to the North Node in Aries opposing the South Node in Libra and Chiron conjunct Mercury retrograde. Expect people or situations from the past to re-enter your life. If you have been following my daily forecast this past week, you know that self-examination, inner work, and soul retrieval are the primary focus this eclipse season. Love all the aspects of yourself and express yourself authentically. When you do, you will find that you also have more love, acceptance, and respect to give to others. Mars conjunct Saturn in Pisces, sextile to Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Taurus, and Neptune in Pisces conjunct Venus in Aries, sextile to Pluto in Aquarius, support constructive and harmonious growth through the acceptance of diversity and respect for individuality. The authentic expression of each individual benefits all. Know thyself and to thine own self be true are words to live by, and mindful consideration of the powers of your I am declarations will help you manifest more ease than stress. Let's take a look at what's going on in the sky, and you can see there's a strong flow of energy moving from Pisces through to Taurus, as we've got Mars conjunct Saturn, then we have Neptune conjunct Venus. And we've got a little difference in energy there with Neptune in Pisces and Venus in Aries. That changeover happened a few days ago. Then we have a conjunction of North Node, Moon and Sun, Chiron, and Mercury retrograde. So this whole cluster in Aries conveys a lot of focus on fixing what's broken, basically, or what's painful, what is no longer working well, for identifying parts of yourself that you have been denying, or whatever you've been repressing. That square aspect to Pluto will definitely bring up the sore points and give you the opportunity for the transformation and the healing. However, things may get intense, or you might reach crisis point, because that is the nature of Pluto. It intensifies things or brings things out to that point of eruption. But it is all very revealing and a necessary catharsis because of that Mercury retrograde and Chiron involved. Plus, there are probably lessons to be learned because of that North Node in Aries as well. Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, we've got the planet of growth and abundance with the planet of change and the future and uniqueness, individuality. And it really is the combined effort of everybody's unique talents that are moving us forward to the future. So working at becoming who you really are and who you feel you are meant to be, and doing the things you feel that you are here for, are particularly important. Look to where you have the Aries and Mars energy in your chart, naturally, based on this eclipse and new moon, but also look at your own lunar nodes and where they are, and take a look at where these lunar nodes are falling. Aries, Libra. Uh, Let me go back and put on the south node here. Okay, there we have it. This south node plays in as much as any of these planets on this side of the chart wheel do that Libra energy, particularly past relationships or our past behaviors in relating, are something that we would become aware of. It may be a time where some people break up and others work at improving themselves, and when they improve themselves, they're going to improve the relationship. But also expect that if you're working on yourself and you suddenly are different to a person who's got some investment in you being the way you presently are, and you're working to change that, and then you improve or you become happier and no longer are caught up in something that's dysfunctional, that other person may remove themselves simply because different energies are going on and you are no longer in that same pattern and you're no longer feeding them, or vice versa. So some relationships may improve and be strengthened at this time, and others may fall apart. And if they do, it's probably for the better that they are. Let's take a look at the Sabian symbol. And I definitely recommend, if you have not been keeping up daily, my past posts can be found here. And this has just been a lead up to the new moon and eclipse. So you would gain further insight if you begin about April 5th, when the moon was active in Pisces. And we started basically on the runway or the approach. And you might get further insights by reading what I wrote for the past few days. Let's take a look at the Sabian symbol. And we are at 19 degrees 24 minutes. And what is the exact time of that lunation? 2:21 p.m. Eastern time. And it's at 19 degrees 24 minutes. So we round up to 20 degrees. A young girl feeding birds in winter. Keynote: overcoming crises through compassion. Nature's seasonal rhythms imply an oscillation between living and dying. Through creative imagination, man can fly over the cycle and discover means not only to escape from the fatality of seasonal decay or deprivation, but to assist other living entities to survive through crises. Migrating birds fly south. This would be refer back to the symbol of Aries, 12 degrees. But by establishing a partnership with other creatures unable to escape wintry deprivation or death, man can maintain the life of the spirit, symbolized by birds, steady through all crises if, like a young girl, he is widely open to the promptings of love and sympathy. At this fifth stage of the symbolic sequence, we witness human activity motivated by sympathy, overcoming the seasonal phase of impotency. Life potency in nature spirits reaches a higher level in the human being. The theme is the transmutation of life into love. We have some energy of the things we do for love, or working from a place of that compassion or acceptance and tolerance with the Pisces planets right now. The South Node is also ruled by the planet Venus. Libra is ruled by Venus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So we have a lot of Venusian energy right now going on, and Venus is in Aries, loosely conjunct that North Node. Definitely self-love is important, and whatever it is that we wish to receive from another, we actually should be finding that within ourselves or giving that to ourselves. So having the patience, the tolerance, the self-love is what is going to improve your relationships in general with other people. You're going to find that reflected back to you, and you will also find that you have the patience and the tolerance and the forgiveness when appropriate, that's going to improve life in general for all. And that Mars-Saturn conjunction, I know that various astrologers are looking at the crisis potential of an eclipse. And an eclipse can definitely heighten energy, and heightened energy can lead to strong impulses and lack of thought or consideration, where people just obey impulses rather than think things through, and then accidents can result. Mars and Saturn, traditionally, when they are joined together, bring two very materially minded, physically oriented planets together. And one is fiery and active, and the other is rather rigid and is about form and structure. Traditionally, these two planets together can represent things like accidents or surgeries or cutting. It's kind of like fire meets rock. And it can be rather severe or harsh. And I've heard some interpretations of this particular transit in Pisces as accidents on water. Yes, potentially. But every planet has multiple aspects to it, different means of manifesting. And I look at this pair, though, as constructive action that is directed toward healing. And it could be that if something falls apart or is scrapped or destroyed for whatever reason, that it may be rehabilitated, or it may have run its course and it's becoming obsolete and it's time for it to be replaced or refurbished to become something better, because Mars and Saturn are also in a supportive aspect to Jupiter and Uranus, which is looking for upgrading and improving for the future. So anything that is material right now that is in need of refurbishing or improvement in your own life, like if you are driving around right now under Mercury retrograde in a beat up old vehicle on bald tires, and then you have an accident, it's not the planets that's doing that to you. That's also you not taking care of maintaining a vehicle properly, and possibly it's time for a new vehicle. So everybody put your thinking caps on really at this new moon and eclipse, and hopefully things that have been hidden from you or that you've been suppressing that are holding you back or keeping you in a danger zone, literally, will become apparent, and then you will take the actions constructively that will improve things, make things better. And we do have that quincunx there too, the South Node in Libra. Hopefully, if there are relationship issues to be worked through, this would show the willingness for both parties to do the work, or at least have a break that is peaceful and not accusatory or volatile, that this may bring some peace into any relationship dialogues that are going on. Just taking a moment to see if anything else is really jumping out. Self-responsibility is also super important, which I mentioned in some of the previous days' postings, that you have to be in full awareness of all aspects of yourself and not suppress or deny parts, because you're only perpetuating your own problems, unhappiness, dysfunction if you are in denial. And definitely Mercury retrograde and Chiron can help you with identifying those things and then working at them. And there is a willingness with that square to Pluto to have the change and transformation, even if it's scary or uncomfortable. It may be that you've reached a point of enough, that you don't want to recreate patterns anymore and keep reliving history, that you are ready for something that is better, healthier, and more enduring, that's going to be good for you and good for the other person. So it is a very powerful lunation. You're going to feel it now, but you're also going to have things come back around again. That's the thing about an eclipse, is that the degree that this is happening at in a cardinal fire sign, there are other cardinal signs that would be making oppositions or squares. Cancer, cardinal water, Libra, cardinal air, and Capricorn, cardinal earth. So when we have the fast movers like the moon, the sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars hitting Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, and they throw up the squares and the oppositions to that 20-degree Aries energy, there are going to be reverberations, or the same issues may come back up around again. And in terms of things like earthquakes, I think there have been studies done on eclipse points and predicting future earthquakes, and there is a strong correlation between planets activating eclipse points and seismic activity. So this may be just the beginning of a year where we're going to have that eclipse point activated again, and possibly seismic activity, or possibly whatever issue is going on for you personally in whatever area of life this lunation occurs in your natal chart, will come back around. You'll just be approaching it from a different elemental perspective. You'd be approaching it, instead of from the fire, from the water, the air, or the earth at the appropriate season. If you have any other cardinal signs in your natal chart, if you have Cancer placements, Libra placements, Capricorn, you may be more stressed at the time of this particular new moon and solar eclipse than some of the other signs might be, or people who don't have a lot of cardinal energy in their chart. Some of you may be experiencing a grand cross, where everything in your life feels like it's getting activated all at once if you do have a lot of cardinal energy and a cardinal grand cross is being formed in your chart. And you can probably do some self-study on that or look up your chart here at astro.com and toggle on with transits when you plug in your birth data so that you can see when we hit with transits, those planets are going to be on the outer edge of the wheel. And of course, all the transits right now are the same as what we're seeing in the sky. When you put in your birth data, you're going to see planets in different places. But you can get an idea of what houses or areas of life the planets are moving through for you by looking at your natal chart and then checking the numbers on the inside of the wheel. These are the houses 1 through 12. You may have entirely different signs on the outer edge of your wheel on different houses. So look to see where you see the moon and sun symbol. Then look at the number that's on the inside of that triangular section, on that wedge, and you will know what house that lunation is occurring in for you. And then you can do some Googling and find out, well, what does that mean? Or if you want to have the full synthesis of what's going on in your chart and what are all these planets doing at this time, because you're feeling like this eclipse is particularly significant for you, I'm available and I would love to help you understand your chart better. Well, do take care, stay safe. People can be a little bit hot-headed and impulsive under this Aries energy. And watch your words, stop and think twice, or slow down and do some deep breathing and counting before you start saying I am or you are, because the power of your words are particularly strong right now. Take care and stay safe.